Hi guys, hope you're all well and enjoyed the last couple of videos I did on chipping, I did on putting. Got some really good feedback. People really started to feel like they've made some improvements, even if it is only in their garden. So hopefully this little video now on pitching will give you some other ideas about controlling distance and controlling direction. With pitching, again, it's a bit like chipping. You've got to build the lie in straight away. You know, you're going to always have different lies when you're pitching. You're not going to generally be playing from the fairway every time, and it's not going to be sitting like a coconut. But I think, reference this video, we'll assume that we've got a nice lie. We haven't got any sort of thick rough or anything. Nothing's buried. The ball's sitting there fairly nicely, so we can play a standard pitch shot. So again, as I've always said in my videos, I don't teach from a manual. I always look with the player and try and build a technique that hopefully just repeats, and you can hit that distance time and time again with a fairly straight flight, which again will lower your scores hopefully as you get better and better with these small pitch shots. So I had one of my members, Graham, who mentioned he doesn't hit his pitch shots very straight, and he was wondering if I could do a video on how he could hopefully improve and hit his pitch shots a bit straighter. Now, without seeing Graham hit loads of shots, I don't really know how or what's going to go on in regards to his golf swing or his golf game or his pitching. But one of the big things I see with people who don't hit their shots straight, now this is especially true in long game, but also in pitching, doesn't make such a big impact, but it can do dependent on how far your strike is off. But people do not know or don't build strike into their practice, their shots at all. And as soon as you take loft off the golf club, and this is a whole new video altogether, if you took loft, the more loft you take off, and if you see oblique strikes, you're going to see massive changes in ball flight. So that's something to seriously build in. And with your strike, the easiest way to do it, if you get a can of Dactarin foot spray, that's a good way of doing it. You can just spray the face, hit a few shots, just see where the ball's starting to come off the face. That's going to give you a big key indicator, because I've had people who think they're hitting it fairly middled and they're actually hitting it fairly well off the toe. That's why it's shooting off right potentially, or starting right, and subject to what loft you got in the club, it could start hooking back left. And again, heel strikes, obviously if we get them too far in the heel, you're going to shank them, and you will probably be aware of that. But again, strike is a big thing, so certainly build your strike in. The next problem I see with people is, especially with pitching, and a lot of club golfers deliver it this way, and they try and almost lift the ball in the air, they try and scoop the ball off the floor, and they end up with impacts sort of very straight armed, club head overtaking hands massively, body kind of stopped, slowed down in rotation, and they get a lot of fold up through here. So they get angle of attack issues, they get strike issues, they get distance control issues, you name it, they get everything. So really, that sort of impact position and try to practice a nice feeling of some structure through the shot with your arms is going to be key to controlling strike and club face massively. And a good little drill for that would be just to start the club slightly back from the right foot, and just imagine you're dragging the club along the floor. So just drag the club along the floor, let the left shoulder extend up and left, the left hip extend up and left, and you should start to see some, if you put yourself on video, some pictures like this. So you can see how I've got the club head outside of my hands, which is a big key. I haven't got any wrap over of the club face. I've got some structure in the arms. My body and my chest are turning with the shot. So again, if I do it from this angle, you can see, you get that look. Body's extended up and left, club head outside of my hands, and I've got the club face under control. We certainly haven't got any looks of this going on where the body's stopped, as I said, and anything like that. So that's a great little feeling and a great little position I look for with pitching, because what I didn't mention, we're not going to see huge follow-throughs when we're pitching. So if you're someone who likes to really get through and get high and really try and wallop it, try to reduce the follow-through and trying to increase some structure on the way through. Final thing in pitching that I see people struggle with, distance control wise, is their swing lengths. Now, you've probably all heard of clock face methods, whatever method you want to try and control the distance. A lot of it is done with swing length, obviously, because the longer I swing the golf club, the more leverage I'm going to create, the more speed I'm going to create, the further the ball generally is going to go, subject to if nothing else changes. So I do like people to kind of build into their build into their sort of, if they've got a book they carry around with them on the golf course, kind of a quadrant here that you might have 2 or 3 wedges, you might have 3 or 4 swings per wedge, and you should start to see some even numbers between those increments. So for example, my 58 degree here, if I was to swing, I've kind of got 4 swings. I've got hands to fairly hip height, left arm parallel to the ground, hands to the shoulder, and then I may have a full swing, but I'll still have quite a curtailed follow through. So if I made 4 swings there, using this method, the ball's going to go different distances. And again, if you wanted to drill for this in the garden, depending on how long a garden you've got, I'm lucky to have a fairly long garden here. I've set some buckets up at sort of 20-yard intervals, and you can make some swings if I was to pitch one down there, remembering those things, so working on strike, reference setup, ball position. Ball position is going to be just forward of the middle. I'm going to have, everything else is going to be fairly standard. The grip's going to be the same. I could grip down the handle to control distance if I felt that gripping down helped me hit it a little bit shorter. Everything else posture-wise, all going to be fairly similar. I'm not going to change a huge amount there with a basic pitch shot. And then I'm going to play, thinking of those things, a few shots down there. I'm going to go on the way back. That was playing down there to the middle bucket. So if I wanted to play one slightly longer, I'd get that feeling of making more of a half swing. So if I was going to play one slightly further than that, I'm going to play a slightly longer swing. That's going to pitch a little bit further down there. If I wanted to play one very, very short, I'd be feeling that slightly shorter swing. Still feeling that control through, still feeling the club head stays outside of the hands, and we've got that control on the way through. So there's all these different things that you can do to help you hit the pitch straight. Hopefully these will help you moving forward. If there's any questions, let me know, or anything else you'd like me to talk about reference pitching. You could do videos for 10, 15, 20 minutes, but you're all going to be probably bored sick of me by then. So the key thing is, try those things out, let me know how you get on, and I'll see you soon with another video. Thank you.